Morning everyone. So last class we had started with basic concepts of clinical chemistry. So we saw about automation and its advantages, different types of auto analyzer and all. So again today we'll continue with the same clinical chemistry concept. Our next concept is quality control. Okay, in brief, in practical demo I have told you. So what is quality control in detail we will be seeing now. So what do you mean by quality? It is the conformance to the requirements of the users or the customers. Okay, so that is called quality. Quality with regard to lab, the customers to the labs are the people or the patients. Okay, so we have to satisfy their requirement, and conformance also should be there about their requirement. So making sure of those conformance and requirements is called as quality. Quality control means, so we are checking every day whether the test is working properly or not. Okay, whether our instrument is giving proper result or not. So that we call it as quality control. And there is quality control limits. So where it is a natural process limits and horizontal lines are drawn on a statistical control chart. So I'll show you the statistical control chart, how it looks like. So the QC value should be within that limit, within the quality control limit. If it is exceeding the limit, then we have to calibrate, rerun the QC, then rerun the test. That means if it is outside the limit, exceeding the limit, we should not dispatch the report. Okay, then there is quality management. So quality management means it is the focusing on the quality, how it is done, how it is managed. So that is called quality management. Then there are specification limits are also there. Similarly, like quality control limits, specification limits are also there. What is this limit? So some allowable deviations will be there. Okay, so if it is exceeding quality control limit, also some chance or some deviation is allowed. So that is considered to be normal only. So that doesn't affect the customer's expectation or the patient's report. So that we call it as specification limits. Then quality assurance means we have to assure the patients that we are giving quality report. That is called quality assurance. Whatever we are giving, it is correct. So that satisfaction we also should need, and the customer, the patient should be affirmed, or they should also have that confirmation. Quality assessment. So this also comes in quality control. So we are assuring, and the quality assurance and quality programs, so both comes under quality assessment. How the lab is, how they are making use of the instruments, how they are releasing the report, all these are assessed based on quality. Then external quality control is there, where our lab's performance is compared externally with some other labs. Okay, so we will know where we are and how far our reports are correct. Internal means every day we are doing the QC. Okay, the quality control every day we do in our lab, that is called internal quality control. And monthly once we do external quality control. Okay, our report, we compare, the same material is run in another lab and we compare the results. That is called external quality. Then control procedures are there. So this is described by number of control measurements and the control rules, okay, used to judge the acceptability of the result. That is called control procedure. And there is quality system. So in this, the quality system should be organizable. Okay, it should be structured. Resources, policies, processes, everything need to be implemented, okay, in the quality management process. So till here, few terminologies: what is quality, what is quality control, quality assurance, quality management. Okay, these are the few important terms that you have to understand. Except that, few terms are there like specificity, sensitivity, accuracy, precision and all. So what is specificity? So here the ability of the analytical method to specifically determine a particular parameter, so that is specificity. So one example previously also had given for specificity. Hexokinase is not specific for glucose. Glucokinase is specific. Okay, so that is one example. And sensitivity is ability of particular method to detect even a very small amount or the measure. So that is called sensitive. Even if it is present in smaller quantity, the procedure can detect that. Okay, that is sensitivity. Precision, it is the reproducibility of the result when the same sample is analyzed, okay, on different occasions, then it should reproduce the values or the report. That is precision. Accuracy is the closeness to the true value. Okay, how nearest is it from the true value, or how close it is from the estimated value, how close is it to the true value, that is called accuracy. And there is laboratory control chart, so where it is designed to detect and reduce and correct the deficiencies that are happening inside the lab. Okay, so using this chart only we control that, and corrective measures are also taken. So that is called laboratory control chart. Statistical control chart also I have told you. I'll show you the pictures, then you will understand. Then analyte, so the substance that has to be measured, that is called analyte. So the particular quantity is subjected to the measurement, that is called analyte analysis or the measurement. Then calibration. So what do you mean by calibration? I told you QC we are doing to check if our instrument is giving out proper values or not. Suppose if it is not giving, then we have to calibrate it. So we use or the system has to undergo calibration. So in calibration, what we do, so the process of testing and adjustment of the instrument is done during this calibration process. Once it is calibrated, adjusted, then again we put the QC and see whether it is giving proper report or not. Then calibration verification. So this is also done by using the instrument, kit and the testing system. Okay. So this is also run as a patient sample. Okay. Then total testing process is there. So this includes pre-analytical, analytical and post-analytical errors. So all this affects the QC or the quality of the report. So how this affects, what are the errors that comes under these pre-analytical, analytic and post-analytical, I'll tell you in next class. Then total quality management is there, a management philosophy and approach that focuses on process and their improvement, that is called total quality management. And there is lean production, that is means it is focused on creating more value to the required activities that are considered as waste. Okay. And there are 5 M's that are involved in quality control. One is the man. Man means the personal lab, personal working or the technician. Machinery is your instruments. Then the materials what we are using. Either it is the quality control materials, calibrators, all those. Then motivation. The technician, technologists, those who are working should be motivated. Okay, they should be dedicated in their work, and their motivation should be to give a quality report. And the methodology means SOP we have to follow, standard operating procedure. We have to learn the basics, and the proper methodology we have to follow. And what do you mean by accuracy and precision? I've already told you. Accuracy means how well a measurement agrees, okay, with the accepted value. Precision is how well the series of measurement is there with each other. So I'll show you the picture here. So this is, so first picture is imprecise. Okay, so there is no reproducibility here. First time the value is here, next time it is somewhere else, the third time it is somewhere else. So there is no reproducibility. It is imprecise. Here you can see it is precise. So each time you do, it is falling in the same portion. Okay, so all the tests are falling in this region only each time when you do. So that is precise, but it is not accurate. Okay, this is precise and accurate. There is reproducibility also, and there is closeness to the true value also. So this is accurate and precise. This is precise but not accurate. This is imprecise. Now we will see what is internal quality control and external quality control. Internal, I told you, we are doing internally in the lab every day. Externally, it is comparing with external lab. So internal quality control, so it is performed by lab staff. Reliable results are based on this internal quality control. Okay, so what all should be monitored continuously? Validation of new reagent. Suppose you are doing internal quality, if the quality control did not come properly, you have to sort out, or you have to go back and see where is the problem. Okay, if the reagent is over, you have to replace it. If the reagent expiry date is over, you have to replace it with another kit and redo the QC. Okay, and if any problem with the instrument, that you need to get it repaired. Okay, then main aim is to recognize and minimize the error. That is done in IQC, or internal quality control. And how it is done? So intra-lab duplicates we do. Okay, the results of the test may be compared with results of the same test that is done previously, okay, on the patient. And this is suitable to determine the reproducibility of the result. So that is the main thing of IQC. And methodology, you can see these are the QC materials. Okay, so this we indent. Okay, and we purchase it from companies. Okay, many companies are there, Biorad, Randox, Roche. Okay, many companies are there. So we order for this QC kit, they will send us. This will be in a lyophilized form or in the powder form. Okay, so there are 3 levels: 1, 2, 3. One is low range, then normal range, then it is high range. For example, if we are ordering, so this QC, so we can take either low range or normal range, or normal or high. So any two can be taken, or in more where the labs with more sample load, they take for the 3 control also. So every day we need not do with the same thing. Okay, so we have to change the controls. Okay, once this level is, once the level 1 is over, we have to go for level 2, then again 3, then again we can come back. So by interchanging, we can assure how the instrument is working. Okay, so if the sample load in the lab is less than 40 sample, so every day once we can perform the IQC. If it is between 40 to 80, at least 2 times we have to do. If it is more than 80, twice a day, 2 levels twice a day. Okay, if it is between 40 to 80, 2 levels once a day. So this has to be followed. Then what is external quality control? So I showed you how the control material will be. Okay, similar lyophilized form material, we will get it from outside labs. There are few organizations or institutions, those who send this external quality control material. Okay, so we order it and we get it. Okay, see, and the lyophilized form we have to reconstitute means we have to dissolve it with certain amount of distilled water. The procedure will be given, we have to follow that, and we have to run the parameters. Once we get the report of this quality control, we will not be knowing how much the value should be. So we have to reconstitute it properly, then we have to run the tests, what all tests we want, or it is interested, we have to run that. Whatever report we are getting, we have to send it to the reference lab for verification. Okay, once we send only, they will release their report, how what is the true value, how much we have got, okay, how accurate is our report, that we will get to know. So the EQC is assessed mainly to the is done to assess the closeness of the result. Okay, so here interlab comparison is done. There is a joint commission that is there, that and also is required for this, and lab competency, lab quality, employee competency can be analyzed here. So these are the agencies that send external quality control. So there is ACBI, Association of Clinical Biochemists of India Association, then CMC, Christian Medical College Vellore is there, College of American Pathologists, then Biorad Randox, then Royal College of Pathologists. So all these are the agencies, those who send the external quality control. In our lab, in our Oxford Biochemistry Central Lab, we are purchasing from Christian Medical College Vellore, CMC Vellore. So the program is called CMC EQAS program. Okay, EQAS means EQAS, External Quality Assurance Program. What is control material? I told you. Control material means it is used for the purpose of IQC, and it is subjected to the same or the part of the same measurement procedure that are used for test materials. Okay, control material, we will be knowing the value. We will put it in the instrument, how much it is giving, and how far, how close it is to the true value, we can see here. And characteristics are, it is less expensive, high stability, it is easily available, and high reproducibility is there. So these are the features of this quality control. And sources, we can obtain it from other lab like EQA, or we can buy it from some companies, or we can use a diagnostic sample also. Pooled sample also can be used for QC. And final reporting, how it is done. So it should be scrutinized and authenticated by the designated personnel. The technician will be processing. They will run the sample, but again it has to be scrutinized by a authenticated personnel. Then reported value should clinically correlate, and it should be acceptable. And the lab staff should have a knowledge of the parameter that they do in their lab. Then statistical concept, I told you there are statistical charts. So what is a statistical process? There is part of analytical component of overall quality management. So here we make use of mean, okay, and standard deviation. So mean, you all know how it is done. So suppose we have measurements like here it is given 42, 42.25 and all these measurements. So how do we calculate mean? We add and we divide by number of mean. Okay, so we get a mean value. So all this work is done in the instrument itself, the calculation of mean. So why do we require mean value? To see if the value is within the quality control limit. Then we have to calculate standard deviation. Standard deviation is calculated by this formula. So square root of x minus x to the power 2 divided by n minus 1. So where n is the number of observations, so sigma is the sum of all the case, and x is the mean value. Okay, and so here you can see the standard deviation, how it is calculated. Just have a look on this table and the formula used, how it is applied. So after getting the standard deviation, there will be plotting of chart, statistical control chart. So two types of charts are there, Levy-Jennings chart. Okay, so here you can see the Levy-Jennings chart. So where the QC values are plotted, this is done in the instrument itself, and the lines are there. The first dotted line is called first standard deviation, 1 SD. This is higher limit, and this is upper limit, upper control limit and lower control limit. Okay, similarly we have 2 SD, 3 SD. So upper is called plus 1 SD, 2 SD, plus 2 SD and plus 3 SD. Lower limits are called as minus 1 SD, minus 2 SD and minus 3 SD. SD is your standard deviation, how far the value is deviated, that we are calculating. Okay, percentage coefficient also is there. So standard deviation divided by the mean value, we get into 100, we get the percentage coefficient. So all this calculation you need not bother, it is done in the instrument itself. The thing you have to know is how to check the chart, how we have to release a report. There is Levy Jennings chart I told you, okay, and we have to follow Westgard rules. What is Westgard rule? I'll tell you. So in LJ chart, it is a chart where it is used to evaluate the QC results, and so this is the Levy Jennings chart. Okay, see here the mean value is 100. So first day when the QC is done, it is 95. See here you can see 100 is the mean value. First day when it is done, it is 95. Next day it is 105. Next it is here, okay, 120, then 85, then again 100, then 90, then more than 100, then nearing 80, then again 100. So all these variations are there, okay, till day 1 to day 31, means the whole month's QC here it is showing. Okay, this is the QC chart of glucose. So here you can see mean is 100, standard deviation is 10 mg. So 1 SD plus or minus is 10 mg. So here 100 is mean. So if it is 95, in what SD it is falling? It is inside the minus 1 SD. This also is minus 1 SD, means within minus 1 SD. So this means 120 means 3 SD. It has crossed 2 SD. Sorry, 1 SD means 10 microliters. So 100 it should give. It is giving 120, means more, 20 value is more, means plus 2 SD. Okay, so this is how we see in what SD it is following. First we have to see that. So he is James O. Westgard, so who gave us the Westgard rules that we have to follow while interpreting or analyzing the quality of the lab report. So here we can detect systematic error and random error. So regarding errors in detail, I'll tell you in the next class. So Westgard rules, he gave us the 6 commonly used Westgard rules. Okay, so 3 are warning rules and the other 3 are mandatory rules that we have to follow. So what are the rules we will see? So value is outside 3SD. See here I showed you 100, this is 2SD. If it is giving 140, 130, it is 3SD. So if the QC is giving 3SD, we are directly rejecting that. We are not going to release the patient report. So that is 1 3S rule. One day if it is going above 3SD, we should reject the test. And 2 2S means 2 consecutive values that are outside 2SD, okay, on the same side. I'll show you with the chart, I'll tell you. Then there is 4 1S rule, then 10x rule. So these are the rejection rules you have to know. 1 3S, 2 2S, 4 1S and 10x rule. And one second. So this is 1 3S. So the value, the red thing is there, no, red dot, that is 3SD. If the QC is above, this is minus 3SD, it is falling on minus 3SD. Either it is plus or minus 3SD, it should, we have to reject it as, reject the quality control. See 1 3S refers to the control rule that is commonly used on the LJ chart or Levy Jennings chart, plus or minus 3. So it is a rejection rule. A run is rejected when it is exceeding this 3SD. In this graph, it is 1 2S rule. Okay, so 1 2S, it is rule violation. Okay, in the it is a warning sign. 1 3S is rejection rule, 1 2S is warning. Then If the 1 2s is there, then we have to be alert. So where the mistake is there, where the error is there, we have to identify and sort out. Then 2 2s, consecutively the control measurement is exceeding 2sd on the same sign, so that is also rejection rule. Then R4s rule is there. So here this is R4s. So reject when one control measurement in the group exceeds the mean of 2 and the another exceeds -2. So fifth date is coming -2sd, sixth date is coming +2sd, then we have to reject. We have to see the problem, we have to redo the QC, we have to do calibration, then quality control again has to be run. Then 4 1s is there. So 4 days it is on the same side. 4 1s, 4 consecutive controls on the same side of the mean, either it is minus or plus. This is also rule violation, we have to reject. We should not release the patient report. If the QC is falling on one side of the mean 10 consecutive times, okay, so every day we are doing, so for the 10 days it is falling on one side only, again we have to reject the report. Do calibration, redo the QC and release. Then 8x rule is there, okay, 8x also is a rejection rule. Similarly, like 10x, 8x is there. Then 12x, again 12 consecutive days on the same side of the mean, okay, we have to reject. So summary to tell you, first we have to start the QC, okay. Once the QC is run, we have to observe the chart. Observation more than 2sd from the mean, it is first time it is acceptable, it is normal, we have to accept the measurement. Then more than 3 times if the mean is exceeding, we have to reject, okay. So here 2 consecutive observation more than 2sd from the mean, we have to reject. N is no, we should not accept. Then more 12 consecutive days, 4 consecutive, 10x, this is all 2x, 4 x and 10x if it is on the same side of the mean. If it is more than 1 from the mean, we have to reject. So this is one Levy-Jennings chart showing the control level 1 of potassium value. So here you can see how it is plotted, okay. This is how the Levy-Jennings chart looks like, and every day's value it gets plotted. We have to analyze where it is falling, within what range it is falling, whether we can accept the report or we have to reject. Should we have to calibrate it, that we have to analyze, okay. So thank you all. So this completes QC, internal, external, and about the Levy-Jennings chart and Westcott rules I've told you. So I hope it is clear to you all. Thank you.